Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that every parent, guardian, or caregiver has faced. Why do kids misbehave? It can be frustrating, confusing, and honestly, pretty exhausting. You might find yourself thinking, why won't they just listen? Or, are they doing this on purpose, just to push my buttons? I get it. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if I told you that most of the time, misbehavior isn't about being bad? It's a form of communication. Let's reframe this. Instead of seeing a naughty child, let's try to see a child who is struggling. Kids, especially young ones, are still developing. Their brains are under construction, particularly the parts that handle impulse control, emotional regulation, and complex problems. They don't have the same tools we adults have to manage big feelings or clearly state their needs. So, when they act out, they're often sending an SOS signal. Our job isn't just to stop the behavior, but to decode the message behind it. Think about it like this: an iceberg. The misbehavior we see, the yelling, the hitting, the defiance, is just the tip of the iceberg. It's the small part that's visible above the water, but beneath the surface lies the much larger, hidden part, the underlying cause. Is your child hungry, tired, overstimulated from a busy day, feeling stressed or anxious about something at school? Or maybe they just desperately need a moment of connection with you. These are the real drivers of the behavior. When we only react to the tip of the iceberg, say, by sending them to a timeout, without understanding why they acted out, we miss the real issue. The problem doesn't go away. It just gets submerged, ready to pop up again later. So, let's talk about some of the most common hidden causes. First up is the simple stuff: the physiological needs. A hungry child is often an irritable child. We even have a word for it as adults. Hungry. It's the same for kids, but they can't always articulate. Mom, Dad, my blood sugar is low, and it's making me feel grumpy. Instead, they might snatch a toy from their sibling or throw a tantrum over something small. Similarly, a tired child has almost zero capacity for emotional control. Think about how you feel after a terrible night's sleep. Now imagine that feeling in a little body that doesn't understand why everything feels so overwhelming. Bedtime battles. After school meltdowns, fatigue is very often the culprit. Keeping an eye on sleep schedules and having healthy snacks on hand can prevent a surprising number of behavioral fires before they even start. Next, let's consider the emotional needs. One of the biggest emotional needs for a child is connection. In our busy lives, it's easy for kids to feel like they're competing for our attention with work, phones, and household chores. Sometimes, a child acts out because negative attention feels better than no attention at all. They've learned that whining or causing a disruption is a guaranteed way to get you to look up and engage with them. Instead of waiting for this to happen, try being proactive. Carve out small pockets of one-on-one time. It doesn't have to be a huge, planned activity. 5 minutes of uninterrupted play, a cuddle on the couch while you ask about their day, or making a silly face across the dinner table can fill their connection cup and reduce their need to act out for attention. Another huge factor is a child's developmental stage. What looks like defiance might just be a normal part of growing up. Toddlers, for example, are wired to test boundaries. It's how they learn about the world and their place in it. When they say no to everything, they're not trying to be difficult. They're discovering their own autonomy and independence. It's a milestone. Similarly, a preschooler who can't sit still for a long story isn't being disrespectful. Their brain and body are simply not developed for long periods of inactivity. they need to move. Understanding what is age-appropriate can save you a lot of frustration. It helps you set realistic expectations and see their behavior not as a personal slight, but as a sign of healthy development. Stress is another major underlying cause. And yes, kids experience stress, even if their worries seem small to us. A change in routine, a new sibling, conflict with a friend, or feeling pressure at school can all manifest as behavioral issues. Since they can't always say, "I'm feeling really anxious about the math test tomorrow," that anxiety might come out as picking a fight with you over dinner or refusing to do their homework. Creating a safe space where they can talk about their feelings without judgment is key. You can try starting conversations like, "I noticed you seemed a little quiet today. Is everything okay?" This opens the door for them to share what's on their mind. So, how do we put this all into practice? When a behavior happens, try to pause before you react. Take a deep breath and become a detective. Ask yourself, what happened right before this? Is my child hungry or tired? Has their routine been off? Have we had any quality time together today? What might they be feeling right now? This pause is your superpower. It shifts you from a reactive mode, where you might yell or punish out of frustration, to a responsive mode, where you can address the root cause with empathy. Let's walk through an example. Imagine your child comes home from school and immediately starts a fight with their sibling. Your initial reaction might be to yell, "Stop fighting, go to your room." But let's pause and investigate. They've just spent a full day at school, a place with lots of rules and structure. They're probably tired, they're probably hungry, and they've likely missed you. Their tank is empty on all fronts. So, a responsive approach might look different. You could calmly separate them and say, "It looks like you're both having a hard time right now. Let's take a break." Then, you could address the needs. "How about we get a snack first, and then you can tell me about your day?" You're not ignoring the fighting, but you're prioritizing the underlying needs. Once they're calmer and have eaten, you can then have a conversation about how to handle disagreements more kindly. You might say, "I understand you were upset, but it's not okay to grab toys. Next time, what could you do instead?" This approach teaches them problem-solving skills and emotional regulation, rather than just punishing the surface behavior. This shift doesn't mean there are no consequences or boundaries. Boundaries are crucial for kids. They make them feel safe, but the consequences can be logical and instructive rather than punitive. If they make a mess, the logical consequence is helping to clean it up. If they speak unkindly, the consequence might be finding a way to make amends. The goal is to teach, not to shame. When we parent from a place of understanding the why, our response is naturally more compassionate and, ultimately, more effective. We move from being a referee in a constant battle to being a coach, guiding our kids through the challenges of growing up. It's a journey. And it's not about being a perfect parent. There will still be days when you lose your cool. And that's okay. The goal is progress, not perfection. It's about building a foundation of trust and connection, so your child knows that even when they mess up, you're on their team. You are their safe space to land. By seeking to understand the need behind the behavior, you're not just managing meltdowns. You re-raising an emotionally intelligent human who knows how to handle their feelings and communicate their needs in a healthy way. And that is a powerful, lifelong gift. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. What's the biggest aha moment you've had about your child's behavior? I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content on mindful parenting. See you in the next one. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that can completely transform your parenting journey. Positive reinforcement. Now, if you've ever felt like you're constantly saying no, don't do that, or stop it, this video is for you. We're going to flip the script and focus on building up our kids, teaching them what to do rather than just what to avoid. So, what exactly is positive reinforcement? It sounds a bit clinical, but it's really simple. It is the act of encouraging a behavior you want to see more of by adding something positive right after it happens. This makes it more likely your child will repeat that good behavior in the future. Think of it like this. Your attention is a powerful spotlight. Whatever you shine that light on grows. If we only shine it on the negative behaviors, those are what get the most attention. But if we intentionally shine it on the good stuff, that's what will flourish. Let's break down why this is so much more effective than punishment. Punishment, like taking away a toy or sending a child to their room, focuses on stopping a negative behavior. It tells a child what not to do. For example, don't hit your brother. The child learns that hitting leads to a negative consequence, but it doesn't teach them what they should do instead when they feel frustrated. This is the crucial missing piece. Positive reinforcement fills that gap. It teaches the alternative, desired behavior. Instead of just saying don't hit, you can praise them when you see them sharing, saying, "I love how you're playing so kindly with your brother. That makes me so happy." Now they're learning a positive way to interact. One of the most powerful tools in our positive reinforcement toolkit is specific praise. It's easy to say, "Good job." And while that's nice, it's a bit vague. Specific praise tells your child exactly what they did right. Instead of "Good job cleaning your room," try, "Wow, you put all your LEGOs back in the bin and lined up your shoes. Your room looks so tidy and organized. Thank you so much for your hard work. Can you feel the difference?" The second one highlights the specific actions you appreciate. This helps your child understand precisely what you want to see again. And it also boosts their self-esteem because they know exactly what they succeeded at. They feel seen and competent. Let's talk about rewards. When people hear rewards, they often jump to thinking about buying expensive toys or giving out candy for every little thing. But that's not what effective positive reinforcement is about. Rewards can be, and should be, simple, immediate, and often not material at all. A high five, a special hug, or 10 extra minutes of reading with you before bed can be incredibly powerful motivators. You could also create a simple sticker chart. Maybe once they collect 5 stickers for putting their shoes away every day, they get to choose the family movie on Friday night. The reward doesn't have to be a thing. It can be a special privilege or a shared experience. These are often far more meaningful to a child than another toy. A key thing to remember is to reward the effort, not just the outcome. Our kids aren't always going to be perfect. They'll try to tie their shoes and end up with a knot. They'll try to pour their own milk and spill some. If we only praise the perfect result, they might become afraid to try, fearing they'll fail. But if we say, "I am so proud of you for trying to tie your own shoes. You were so focused and you almost got it," we encourage perseverance. We're teaching them that trying is valuable and that it's okay to make mistakes. This builds a growth mindset, the belief that they can improve with practice, which is one of the greatest gifts we can give them. Consistency is absolutely the secret sauce here. Imagine a slot machine that only paid out randomly once every 100 pulls. You'd probably stop playing. But if it paid out fairly regularly, you'd keep trying. It's the same for kids. If you sometimes praise them for sharing but other times ignore it, the message gets muddled. They won't know if sharing is actually a behavior you value. To make positive reinforcement stick, you need to be consistent. When you see the good behavior, acknowledge it. This consistency helps build a strong, predictable connection in your child's brain. When I do this, something good happens. This predictability makes them feel secure and motivated. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Am I bribing my child to be good? This is a really common concern, and it's a valid question. The difference between a bribe and a reward lies in the timing and the intention. A bribe is offered in the middle of a negative behavior to make it stop. For example, if you stop screaming in the store, I'll buy you a candy bar. This actually reinforces the screaming. The child learns that screaming gets them candy. A reward, on the other hand, is set up in advance or given spontaneously after a positive behavior. You might say, before going into the store, if you can use your inside voice and stay with me, we can share a special snack when we get home. Or, after a successful trip, you say, you did such a fantastic job in the store. Let's celebrate with a little dance party when we get home. See the difference? The reward encourages good behavior. The bribe stops bad behavior. Let's look at some real-life scenarios. Toddler tantrums. Instead of focusing on the tantrum, try to catch the moment before it happens. If you see them getting frustrated, you can step in and say, I see you're having a hard time with that puzzle. Can you use your words and ask for help? When they do, you shower them with praise. Thank you for using your words. I love helping you. You're reinforcing the communication, not the tantrum. What about homework battles with older kids? Instead of nagging, try breaking it down. Agree that they'll work for 20 minutes, and then they can have a 5-minute break to do something they enjoy. The break is the positive reinforcement for their focused work. You're acknowledging their effort and rewarding it with something they value. Over time, this can help them build stamina and a more positive association with homework. Remember to tailor the reinforcement to your child. What works for one might not work for another. One child might love verbal praise, while another might be more motivated by a sticker chart or extra playtime. Observe your child. What makes their eyes light up? What do they ask for? Use those things as your value rewards. It shows them you're paying attention to what they love, which strengthens your connection. It's also important to be patient. You're not going to see a complete transformation overnight. Building new habits takes time, both for you and for your child. There will be days when you forget to praise the good stuff, and there will be days when your child has a lot of challenging behaviors. That's okay. The goal is progress, not perfection. Just keep trying to shift your focus. Every time you catch a moment of kindness, cooperation, or effort and shine your spotlight on it, you're planting a seed. Over time, with consistent watering, those seeds will grow into a beautiful garden of positive behaviors, and more importantly, a child who feels capable, loved, and understood. So, your homework for this week is to become a good behavior detective. Actively look for the good things your child is doing, no matter how small. Did they put their cup in the sink without being asked? Praise it. Did they play nicely for 5 minutes? Acknowledge it. Did they try to zip their own jacket? Celebrate the effort. Start small, be specific, and be consistent. I promise you, shifting your focus to the positive will not only improve your child's behavior, but it will also change the whole atmosphere in your home. It creates a more joyful, connected, and encouraging environment for everyone. Let me know in the comments below what positive behaviors you are going to start looking for this week. I'd love to hear your stories and successes. Thanks so much for watching, And if you found this helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more parenting tips. See you in the next video. Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today, we re-dive into a topic that can bring so much more peace and cooperation into your home. Creating simple rules that your kids can actually follow. If you've ever felt like a broken record, constantly repeating yourself, or like your house rules are just floating in the air, you are not alone. The secret isn't more rules or stricter consequences. It's about clarity, simplicity, and consistency. Let's explore how to set up a system that works for everyone, reducing stress and building responsibility in your little ones. So, why do simple rules work so well? Imagine you're learning a new, complex game. If someone throws a 50-page rulebook at you, you'd feel overwhelmed, right? But if they say, first, just learn this one move, you'd feel much more confident. It's the same for kids. Their brains are still developing, and they can't process a long list of complicated instructions. When rules are short, clear, and easy to remember, kids are far more likely to understand and follow them. Simple rules take the guesswork out of their day, helping them feel secure because they know exactly what's expected of them. This foundation of clarity reduces power struggles and frustration for both you and your child. Let's start with the basics of crafting these rules. The key is to keep them positive and action-oriented. Instead of saying, "Don't hit your brother," try use gentle hands. This tells your child what to do, not just what to avoid. Negative commands, like "do you want to know," can sometimes make a child focus on the forbidden action. A positive instruction, on the other hand, paints a clear picture of the desired behavior. Think about other common scenarios. Instead of, "Don't make a mess," you could say, "Keep your toys in the playroom." Instead of "Stop yelling," try use your inside voice. These small shifts in language are incredibly powerful because they guide behavior instead of just policing it. Age appropriateness is another crucial factor. The rules for a 3-year-old will look very different from the rules for a 10-year-old. For toddlers and preschoolers, focus on immediate safety and basic social skills. Rules like "hands are not for hitting," or "we sit on the chair to eat," are perfect. Use short, memorable phrases. You might even create little rhymes or songs to help them remember. Like "When we're done, clean up is fun." These kids need lots of repetition and gentle reminders. Physical cues, like pointing to the toy bin when you say "clean up your blocks," can also be extremely helpful. Remember, at this age, their memory and impulse control are still in the very early stages of development. As kids move into elementary school, from ages 6 to 10, they can handle more responsibility and more complex rules. You can start introducing rules related to chores, homework, and screen time. For example, finish your homework before you play, or screen time is over at 7 o'clock at this stage. It's a great idea to involve them in the rule-making process. Sit down together and have a family meeting. Ask them, "What do you think is a fair rule about cleaning our rooms?" When kids have a say in creating the rules, they feel a sense of ownership and are much more likely to follow them. They start to understand that rules aren't just arbitrary commands from parents, but agreements that help the family work together smoothly. Now, let's talk about the number of rules. Less is more. A huge list of do's and don'ts is overwhelming for everyone. Try to stick to 3 to 5 core family rules. These should be your non-negotiables, the big picture values you want to instill. Examples might include: be kind to each other, tell the truth, and clean up after yourself. These broad rules can cover a lot of different situations. For instance, be kind to each other applies to sharing toys, not calling names, and helping a sibling who is struggling. You can then have more specific, temporary instructions for certain activities, like we stay by the cart in the grocery store, but your core family rules should remain consistent and few in number. Once you have your simple, positive, age-appropriate rules, how do you introduce them? Don't just announce them during a moment of conflict. Choose a calm, relaxed time to talk about them. As I mentioned earlier, a family meeting is a great tool for this. Explain each rule clearly and, most importantly, explain the why behind it. Kids are more likely to cooperate when they understand the reason for a rule. For example, we use gentle hands because we don't want to hurt anyone, and we want everyone in our family to feel safe. Or, we clean up our toys so they do get broken, and so no one trips and gets hurt. This connects the rule to your family's values, like safety and respect. To help everyone remember the rules, make them visible. Create a rule chart and hang it somewhere everyone can see, like on the refrigerator or in the living room. For younger kids who can't read yet, use pictures or drawings to illustrate each rule. You could draw a picture of two kids sharing nicely next to the rule "be kind," or a picture of a toy box for clean up after yourself. Making the chart together can be a fun family activity. This visual reminder serves as a neutral third party. Instead of you always being the enforcer, you can simply point to the chart and say, "What's our rule about toys?" This depersonalizes the correction and reduces back. Of course, even with the clearest rules, kids will test the boundaries. That's a normal and necessary part of their development. This is where consistency becomes your best friend. The rules need to apply to everyone, every time. If clean up after yourself is a rule, it can't be enforced on Tuesday but ignored on Friday because you're tired. This inconsistency confuses kids and teaches them that the rules are optional. When a rule is broken, a calm and predictable consequence should follow. The consequence should be logical and related to the broken rule. For instance, if the rule is clean up your toys, the logical consequence could be that those toys get put away for the rest of the day. It's not a punishment, but a natural outcome of their choice. Let's expand on logical consequences. The goal isn't to make your child suffer. It's to help them learn. If they ride their bike without a helmet, the consequence isn't that they lose TV privileges for a week. That's unrelated. The logical consequence is that bike riding is over for the day. This directly links the behavior to the outcome. When you deliver a consequence, do it calmly and firmly, without anger or lectures. You chose not to wear your helmet, so you're choosing not to ride your bike for now. We can try again tomorrow. This approach teaches them that they are in control of their choices and the outcomes that follow, which is a powerful lesson in personal responsibility. Finally, remember to praise the positive. We can get so caught up in correcting bad behavior that we forget to notice all the times our kids are doing the right thing. Catch them following the rules. When you see your kids playing nicely together, say, "I love how you're using gentle hands and sharing your toys." That's a great example of being kind. This positive reinforcement is incredibly motivating for children. It shows them that you see their effort and it makes them want to continue that behavior. A simple thank you for putting your dishes in the sink without being asked can go a long way. Celebrating their successes reinforces the rules just as much as applying consequences does, but in a much more connecting way. In summary, creating rules that kids will actually follow is a process. It starts with crafting a short list of simple, positive, and age-appropriate rules. Involve your kids in the process to give them a sense of ownership. Explain the why behind each rule and make them visible with a chart. Be incredibly consistent with enforcement, using calm, logical consequences when rules are broken. And don't forget to shower them with praise when they get it right. By implementing these strategies, you're not just managing behavior. You're teaching your children valuable life skills like respect, responsibility, and self-control, all while creating a more harmonious family life. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope these tips help bring a little more order and a lot more peace into your home. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more parenting content. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What are your family's core rules? See you in the next video.